Good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of DMs with PM. And of course, as we know, the PM is still out of state, and we have another member of Parliament representing the Prime Minister this evening. But before we introduce our guests, once again, I want to welcome all our viewers on YouTube and Facebook. And for those of you listening via radio, Power FM, Fusion FM, GBN, Vibes FM, Karakou, We FM, and Star FM. It's indeed a pleasure to have you back right here for another interactive segment where you get to ask your questions directly. We have the DMs from the street, and of course we entertain your phone calls as well. So once again, it is a pleasure to have you here with us. So just kindly share the live and give other folks the opportunity to be part of the program today. Joining us in studio is the MP for St. George Northeast. The Honorable Ron Redhead is in the chair. Welcome. Good to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Aruna, and greetings to all of the listeners, both online and on radio.
Okay. So today you're Prime Minister for an hour. How does that feel?
Well, humbling. I look forward to the questions and answering as many as I can.
Wonderful. So, folks, as always, share the live and give other folks the opportunity, like I said, to join us for this interactive segment. And we not just ask the direct questions, we get to know the MPs a little bit, as we did last week with the Minister for Education. And we learned quite a lot from him. And I hope we will do the same this week. So, we are going to go straight into it. And before we do anything else, where is my question? You are from Northeast, and before we went live, we were talking about, schools, and I really thought the MP was a past student of the Boca Secondary School, only to find out he is from the school on the hill.
The best?
The one on the hill.
Yes.
That everybody who attended there seemed to have this sense of pride about. What it is about the GBSS that makes everybody so boastful and filled with pride?
I think the Grenada Boys Secondary School represents a very deep, philosophical, intellectual, sports as well. Kind of historical context for all students, both past and present. It also represents a struggle. As you know, GBSS had fires, they had many difficulties that they had to overcome, and in particular, principals with very big characters. And I can think of one, none other than the chief himself, Mr. Victor Ashby. And so GBSS represents that kind of nostalgia as to what every young man in Grenada should strive to be. Of course, it might be a different story when it comes to St. Andrew, if we are talking competition in sports.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that is one question we wanted to get out of the way. And we have another one that inquiring minds want to know. What is one talent or hobby people would be surprised to know you have? Okay,
talent, I would be secretive, so I would say my graphic design skills. Not many people know that I do that. I'm very skillful with computers as well. And I can't hack, but, I'm very, very skillful with computers.
All right, so we got to learn something today about the minister. So before we move on into other areas, what is one of the things you do to unwind after a long day?
Right, it's sometimes difficult, but I would have to switch off the phone and kind of go incognito. But one thing that I love doing is reviewing speeches of past leaders. I love to look at world events, and compare them back then to now. I'm a big fan of geopolitical situations, so I love that as well. I just like to reflect on the past. I actually read a lot of Grenadian historical books. So, for example, George Brizan's book, The Island of Conflict, is something that I enjoy reading and rereading. It speaks about healthcare, it speaks about challenges in the country at the given time, and I compare them to the now as well.
Well, you answered two questions in one, because that was one of them. What is your favorite book and why? Yeah. So you got that one out of the way. Yeah. But What would you say is the best or worst advice you have ever received, and how has that helped you in your life?
I have to smile a little. So the best advice I think I received, I want to put the Prime Minister on spot here. I think when we started the election campaign and we spoke, I said to him that, you know, I'm focusing on my studies and so on, so I don't necessarily know that I should run. And he said, I think you should, and you would be given the opportunity to go and study, even if we win or lose. So here I am, fast forwarding today, completing my master's, and it is such a pleasure. I'm on the home stretch. I am almost finished, and it's something that I didn't expect to happen, because I would confess I spent 9 years in the NDC trying to mind my business and not being able to achieve that studies and that degree. And so it came down to this, and I'm very, very happy with that. The worst advice, I don't want to call the person's name, but I would have to say that when I was a little boy, I used to look at these shows and we would talk about it. I wouldn't say what the show was. That is when we first had cable TV. And I lit myself afire. And rather than, yeah, but listen to the story and listen to the advice, rather than using water, there was a bottle of spirits. And the rest is history. And so that is something that stuck to me. I also have another bad advice, but I don't think it's appropriate for television.
But who would advise you to douse yourself with spirits?
Well, I think the challenge was listening to bad advice. So lesson learned.
Well, at least you're here today to tell the tale.
Yes.
So it probably wasn't that bad after all.
It wasn't that bad.
Alrighty. So, in terms of policies, though, what is one policy you are passionate about, and why?
Right. Well, I think education stands out to me as a specific policy, but I would say that I'm also very interested in healthcare, and not the national healthcare, but more those from a community level, primary healthcare. I'm very much interested in that, and I think the specific area that I want to see us improve on is being able to respond to illnesses at the community level. So we are talking about the expansion of medical stations and upgrading of medical stations. We are talking about also ensuring that we have enough staff at a community level to be able to visit people. One key area that has a vacuum right now is the visits to the elderly. In St. George Northeast, we provide adult Pampers free of cost for all of our constituents, those who need it. And therefore, we mobilize this from New York and we send it down. We have to pay to clear it, etc. And we give it out free of cost to the elderly. And so it is extremely expensive, but the care that they require to be able to just live at home and get the medical attention, you know, take a blood sample, that sort of thing, I think it's woefully lacking, and it is an area that I am very passionate about and would like to see us improve on.
How do you define success as a minister?
Well, I think it is twofold. On one hand, you have your views, and then on the other hand, you have the views of the people. I measure success based on what people believe is right. If they are satisfied with, let's say, representation or a particular policy being able to resolve a problem, I think success comes from that, because ultimately you are there to serve. And as an individual member of parliament, you have to make a determination how well you're working or effectively working for your constituents.
So let's go home for a little bit. How would you describe the current mood and energy in your constituency right now?
Right. Well, you know, people seem to be always having fun and enjoying themselves. It's a little less on the violent side from when I came in 2022. Kudos to the young men who are now focusing on, you know, trade, taking care of their family, etc. I would say that notwithstanding we've had some major successes thus far, the issue of housing continues to remain a major concern, and sometimes, you know, just bringing the benefits to the constituents, it is always easy for the kind of petit jealousy, I would say. Mary Jane gets something, Tom and get, and so on. So it's very difficult sometimes to manage.
What would you say inspired your approach to leadership and the way you stay connected to the people on the ground?
Right. Well, I always speak about my father and the role he played, the late Martin Redhead. He came from the revolution and he taught me the key ability to go down on the ground and change perception, change views, you know, how effective you can do that. He learned that from the revolution. He was trained in Czechoslovakia, Cuba, those areas. And so he was working in the communications department. And it's something that I inherited from him in terms of following world global news. At a very tender age, I would grow up reading newspapers, and I would get licks if I read the newspaper and I didn't comprehend the particular article correctly. And so he taught me to remain focused on the issues, and he would always use the term, boy, don't worry, just do what you have to do. So I inherited that spirit, and I continue with that.
So, one more. If you were to ask one of your past teachers about you as a student, what would they say? How would they describe Ron Redhead, the student?
Well, GVSS for sure, they would say he liked a lot of gadgets and cell phone and like to fix headphones and all these other things. On the other side, they would say that he has immense potential. And they would always say once he remains focused, he can achieve great things.
They never said you were talkative. They never gave trouble.
Too
Your
talkative.
parents ever had to come to
Yeah,
school.
man.
So that part we're looking for.
So yes, so I wouldn't shy away. You know, we would always, when you go to school, it's not about lining with the wrong crowd. I could get along with the very bright students, and I could get along with some of the troublemakers as well. This was one of the things that I actually loved in school, that I could speak to anyone at any level. And so sometimes I would hang around the crowds that do wrong things, but I was a good boy, so I didn't do wrong things.
I was a bad child. I was a bad boy at school. So, someone who has been involved in youth and still is, based on what you're seeing today, what are your thoughts on our youth?
Right. Well, I think it's a complex question to answer or respond to, but I would say this, that I think the young people have tremendous potential and can achieve great things. What we need to do is to ensure that that potential is harnessed in the right direction and focus on positive things. The influences outside plays a very pivotal role in terms of determining the direction they would take. But we have to work with our young people and do not see them as a problem to be solved, but see them as part of the solution to solve the problems that we face.
I should have added on your government, but we get the answer. We got the answer.
Yes.
All righty, so I think that's enough quizzing you for now. We'll have some more questions as we move along. Of course, DMs from the street, as well as we will take your calls, and we will get back to some of those questions. But in the meantime, we have to take a quick break. And while we're doing that, please share the live and get more people on to be part of this evening's DMs with PM. We'll be back in a bit.
Bay Leaf, another of Project 500's signature design. This 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, a beauty, spans a gross area of 1,073 square feet. Built with fully insulated reinforced walls and insulated roof, Bay Leaf is crafted for comfort, efficiency, and sustainable living. The design achieves 100% efficiency in its superstructure. Inside, you'll find low-flow plumbing fixtures, large windows providing maximum ventilation, and a 25% greater efficiency than current building code requirements. Spacious bedroom, an open floor plan living, kitchen, and dining area. It is true to its name, Bay Leaf brings comfort and peace the moment you walk in. At Project 500, we're more than just building homes. We're about building sustainable communities and delivering quality homes for all families.
And welcome back once again, viewers and listeners of DMs with PM. And this evening we are joined by MP Ron Redhead for the MP for St. George North East. And of course, we've been getting to know him, know a little bit about him, and this is where we get ready to answer your questions. Think it's time to take it to the streets, or are we going to take the calls? Streets, calls, DMs. All right. So we're going to do some DMs, and then we're going to get to the streets. I don't know how I got there, but we're coming back. So, very first question, how can residents be more involved in shaping the future of their community?
Right. Well, it's a good question. What we try to do in St. George Northeast is to allow constituents to come in with suggestions, ideas that we can be able to implement at the community level. We have a very robust community development program, which is we want to see sports, we want to see community engagement, and in a sense, community ownership. My goal ultimately is to see what is considered to be community councils or constituency councils, where a particular community could have an authority or body to be able to manage the affairs of that specific community, so that we work in tandem with whatever efforts the MP and the government of Grenada may be embarking on at the given time.
Okay. We have another DM. How can we create more employment, training, or entrepreneurship opportunities for young people?
Yeah. It's a good question. We are currently training 16 young women at the Boca Secondary School in office management procedures. It is going well. They are doing a pretty good job, and they are earning their national vocational qualification as NVQ by a particular outfit. I am hopeful that they could wrap up in the shortest possible order before the budget 2026, and we could be able to discuss, and I can provide further updates. But as it relates to small businesses, we have been giving a tremendous amount of support. I think it is true that small businesses help to make and shape small economies. And so one of the things that we have done is to give a lot of grant assistance to small businesses. One requirement is to ensure that they are registered and they form part of the formal economy, so that they could be able to benefit later on down the road.
I think we have another one. On this question reads, what plans does government have to enhance the health centers in Bolio?
Right. So we have completed a discussion with the district health team. We are working to install the first ever dental unit at the Bolio Medical Station. We are hopeful that we can wrap this up in time for budget 2026, that we could be able to speak about it. The critical part about it is that dental healthcare is very important, not just to the Northeast, but the entire Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique. And so making it even more accessible at a local level is something that we believe will help to enhance the healthcare, and oral health overall can help improve your overall health as a person. And so we are very keen on ensuring that this occurs. We are also upgrading the New Hampshire Medical Station, and we have plans to reconstruct the doctor's quarters. What that is going to do is to say that a place such as Willis, where you would have time and again people passing through from different locations, could be able to get medical care in time to come there. It also allows, because government is pursuing the statutorization of the general hospital, the staff is going to be under a specific body, and then it allows for the government to be able to employ people more at a community level. And so it is an opportunity that we are looking forward to. It will help expand the base of health workers throughout a community level, and it is something that we are keen on seeing implemented and look forward to the impact it provides.
Okay, wonderful. How do you see sports contributing to community development and unity among community members?
It's a lovely opportunity. We are working to upgrade the Vendom playing field. Just about 3 weeks ago, myself and the Minister of Sports was laughing because she said she saw a big announcement about Vendom being lit, and her as Minister, she wasn't even aware that we were forging ahead. So at a community level, we were able to utilize the funds at community development to be able to pursue this. It is something that I believe can bring people together. In Tempe, for example, almost every other night there are activities there, and people love it. It brings the whole community spirit and keeps the young people in particular engaged in more productive things rather than the negative side of society.
Alrighty, and I think that just about concludes our questions. We have one from Facebook. Let me get to it. And this question here reads, What about the men? What training opportunities are available for men?
Yeah. It's a very important question. I think the challenge or the task is to get the full commitment. We can get 1 or 2 men. So, for example, earlier on this year, we trained 3 young men in the art of public speaking. The training was facilitated by Mr. Kenroy Batiste, who is a guru in his own right. And so we continue to assist young men in terms of empowering their confidence. Part of the challenge is that, Prime Minister always speaks about it, is that we were trained to be less of a confident person and always told, shut up, hush him out, that sort of thing. And so it's very difficult at a mature level to try and retrain. So it's something that we are working with. We also have pursued the ability to do the math and English at adult level to help improve that situation there. But we've had some challenges in implementing this. I think Hurricane Beryl came and the whole plans just got derailed.
Okay. That's about it for our DMs. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll go to the streets.
Cinnamon, one of the signature designs of Project 500. This 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home spans 1,122 square feet, crafted for sustainable and modern living. The design features efficiency in wall, windows, and roof, engineered to reduce your overall electrical consumption by minimizing heat buildup. A cooler building on those hot days. Inside, you'll find low-flow plumbing fixtures, which reduces water usage. Efficiency without sacrifices. With 3 spacious bedrooms, this design offers a retreat for all members of the family. With an open floor plan comprising of dining, living, kitchen, dedicated laundry, utility closet, water storage, solar panel, and parking for 2. And an area for outdoor home gardening. The Cinnamon balances functionality and style. At Project 500 is more than just building homes. It's about developing sustainable communities and delivering quality homes for all families.
Welcome back again, viewers and listeners, to DMs with PM. And this is about where we go to the streets. I think we have Norris on the streets with us today.
Welcome to our second season of DMs with PM, episode 3. And today we have Ron Redhead on program. And we are in his constituency of St. George's, Northeast.
My name is Mavis Mitchell.
Welcome to DMs in the Street. Ask your question or share your concern.
Okay. Well, my concern is the concern of the fencing around the school with the safety of the children.
Okay.
I would like to know how soon it will be done.
Okay.
Just in safety and in protocol with the children safety. Okay. I would like to know how soon he will get it done, please.
Is your security, you want to make sure that
the children and everyone else.
Right. Thanks, Mavis. So, yes, it will be done before the year has ended. I've already spoken to the chief responsible for schools at the Ministry of Education, and we spoke to the CTO in the Ministry of Infrastructure and the principal of Boca already.
Okay. We have another.
Hi, my name is Norris. Hi, my name is Norris. What's your name?
I'm Tahira Tyson, teacher at the Boca Secondary.
All right, so ask your question to Honorable Ron Redhead.
Honorable Ron Redhead, it's so good to have you on with DMs with the PM. Today our question is, at the Boca Secondary School there is a garbage bin at the front, and yes, the school uses it. However, the entire community has access to it. What happens is that members of the community do not wait for garbage days to put out their garbage. Instead, everybody dumps their garbage there and it becomes unsightly. It's the smell, it's nothing short of disgusting, and it's really not a good look for the entrance of our school. We all know Boca Secondary School is the best school in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So we would love to have our environment looking good and smelling good. So my question is, when will that garbage bin be removed from our school's environment?
There we go.
Thank you very much, Teach. We have spoken to the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority. Only last week, we completed the initial phase, which is to go out and put the notices out and inform residents of the removal of the bin. And subsequent to that, we will then relocate the bin closer down to away to one of the larger drain areas. The challenge is that this garbage bin actually belongs to the school, and the community saw it fit to just use it one time. It should not have been erected at the entrance of the school, and it continuously poses a threat with the rodents, among other things. So I do empathize with the situation there, and we are working feverishly to have that corrected.
Okay, Teach. We have another DM from the street.
My name is Norris Francois. What's your name?
St. James.
All right. Ask a question to Honorable Ron Redhead.
My question is, why can't the government add nurses in schools instead of have the teacher do the job when children get injured? Thank you.
Very solid question, and I think the Ministry of Health would be glad to give a formal response. But I would say that this is something that I see can help improve the ability for young people and students in particular to get access to healthcare at a community level. Having a nurse, a trained, qualified nurse on staff is going to be a tremendous boost to the teaching fraternity, in my view.
Okay. We have another DM from the street.
My name is Norris Francois. What's your name?
Samaya Charles.
Well, Simaya, ask your question to Ron Redhead.
I would like to ask if you could please get the road fixed up in Bamboo Willis St. George's.
Yes. All right, so we are working on it there, and it's not only that specific area. I can say to you that we have done a complete review of the road network going into Constantine. There is a major upgrade that is to take place with the connection up to Vendome and Constantine and back to Snow Corner Bolio. And so we are looking at the 2026 budget cycle to be able to implement fully and complete most of those projects.
Okay. And I believe we have our final DM from the street.
My name is Norris Francois. What's your name?
Ronald Morel.
All right, Mr. Morel, well, ask your question or share your concern to Honorable Ron Redhead.
All right, so my question is, what is there in the pipeline for when it comes to youth who are not home or who are home and not working, or who have finished school and want interested in learning a skill or a trade or to start a small business? Is there any plan in the pipeline currently for them?
And you said you have another question about
All right, so
inclusiveness.
I'm an avid advocate for disability. As you can see, I'm in a wheelchair. So I'd like to know, is there anything when it comes to education, inclusive education, is there any transportation system? Because even though we have a public transportation, but there's none to assist people with disability, where the bus can access to people with wheelchair and so on, to access bus to travel and so on. Not only just school, but in Grenada as a whole. We want to know if would there be any transportation system for people as the elderly and so on?
Yes. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, man.
Yes.
All right.
Very good questions. What I would say is I would answer the last first, to say that on the question of disability, it's a major concern throughout. I know in St. George Northeast, we are working with a Trinidadian company to provide, for example, prosthetic limbs, and we are awaiting one for a gentleman from the community of Boca. We believe in empowering. We are able to do this through the Ministry of Community Development, the Ministry of Health, MIT, I know have been engaged with the Trinidadian company, and hopefully we can see some improvements there. As it relates to a disability bus transportation system, this is something that I think should be elevated at a national level, and the discussion should be had not just in St. George Northeast, but throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, because I think it will provide a tremendous opportunity for people living with disability to be able to traverse and commute without the hassle that the current public transport system poses for them. As it relates to young men, what I would say is that we are employment and skills training. We have consistently been able to assist a number of people, sent some to organize to get them sent to China to do the short-term courses. We have been able to assist a great deal of young people with educational support. It is so much that sometimes the ministry actually asks me to hold up on some of the requests. And so we get that time and again. So we always would negotiate to get a little extra. But training is always available. We also give assistance if you would like to register your business. You have a good business idea. We give small business support on an institutional level at St. George Northeast as well. And it's something that we love working with people to do. A lot of people have opened up new businesses throughout the length and breadth of St. George Northeast, and we continue to encourage them to invest, and we'll work with them as best as we can.
We have one from Facebook, and this person is asking, when will the lights in Good Hope pasture come on?
Right. Thank you very much for the question. I did speak with the Minister of Sports about this. She did indicate to me that she would pursue it. I am told, however, by the contractor who completed the work at Good Hope that the only outstanding matter is left with Grenlec and the Ministry of Infrastructure. So once that is tied up, I assume that it should be turned on. We are working, however, to see if we could get it turned on before the year has ended.
Okay, folks, we have to take another quick break, but when we come back, of course, we entertain your calls. And remember the number, 423-3104. So if you have a question you'd like to ask the minister directly, this is your opportunity to do so after the break, 423-3104. Quick break, and we'll be right back.
It's like the water pure and clean. It's a comfort anytime you need it. It's for everybody, fresh and green. You can count on us, there's nothing like it. It's homegrown, it's island pure, it's homegrown, pure.
Bay Leaf, another of Project 500 signature design. This 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, a beauty, spans a gross area of 1,073 square feet. Built with fully insulated reinforced walls and insulated roof, Bay Leaf is crafted for comfort, efficiency, and sustainable living. The design achieves 100% efficiency in its superstructure. Inside, you'll find low-flow plumbing fixtures, large windows providing maximum ventilation, and a 25% greater efficiency than current building code requirements. Spacious bedroom, an open floor plan living, kitchen, and dining area. It is true to its name, Bay Leaf brings comfort and peace the moment you walk in. At Project 500, we're more than just building homes. We're about building sustainable communities and delivering quality homes for all families.
And welcome back once again to all our viewers and listeners of DMs with PM. Thank you so much for staying with us. And this is the part where you get to call and ask your question directly. Again, the number 423-3104, 423-3104. You can call and ask the minister your questions directly. Do we have a call online as yet? Okay, so while we await the calls, Minister, what are some of the key we have? Okay. Let's take the call and then we'll come back with a question. Caller, good evening.
Good evening, my dear Aruna. How are you going?
I am well, thank you. Go
Good
right
evening,
ahead.
Ron, Honorable Ron. Hi, how are you
Good
going?
evening. Good, good.
I just want to encourage, it's not a question really. With a lot going on lately, I just want you to be focused, Honorable Ron Redhead, and don't get sidetracked. Just continue doing what you you all are doing. There's a lot to be done. There's a lot of things to be done in Grenada, and I think that you all are trying very hard, and I applaud the government on that. So I just want you to know that we all in this, whatever happening together, and be focused. Just do what you have to do, and everything will be all right. God bless you.
Thank you. Thanks.
We have another call online. Okay, remember 423-3104. That's the number to call to ask your questions directly from the minister. Caller, good evening, welcome. Caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the program. Go right ahead.
Giving me for? What are you giving me to for? What are you giving?
Well, I don't think that caller is ready for us, so we'll take another one. 423-3104. And we have another caller online. Okay. In the meantime, Minister, I was asking, what are some of the key areas that you're focused on right now in your constituency?
Right. So definitely we are focused on infrastructure, flood mitigation in particular. One of the things that we observed when we came into St. George Northeast, work may have been ongoing, but it was not planned and targeted. And so a large portion of the constituents would have to reel from a lot of poor construction and poorly advised construction, if you may put it like that. So what we've been doing is a lot of retooling, re-strategizing as to how we, for example, deal with the elements of flooding and to make the community itself a bit more resilient. I think part of the challenge that we faced predominantly is that lack of organization and strategy when we deal with construction projects. So just take a simple one as widening the LA Law Bridge at Tempe. This is something 30 odd years it took to achieve, and it cost maybe only about just over $70,000. And so had this kind of planning been done a long time ago, I think it would have been much better to be able to avoid a lot of accidents, floods, etc. The other thing that we are keenly focused on is helping to empower communities. We were able to pilot, for example, the St. George Northeast Food Festival. I am desperately looking for a strong committee to be able to carry this on. I think we took a break this year, but last year we piloted it. It went well, and we have a lot of chefs, cooks, and people who deal with cuisine in St. George Northeast, and cuisine being a part of our culture as well. We wanted to find something that could be able to harness that element of the culture. You have a lot of good cooks in St. George Northeast, and so we are working to see how we could build that out. I do have someone that we have kind of earmarked to help lead the efforts in the initial phase, and so we are looking for others to join. So I'm very much excited to see how we could institutionalize the St. George Northeast Food Festival.
We have a caller online. Caller, good evening and welcome to the program.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
Right, and good night to your host also, Minister Redhead,
Yes,
MP
yes.
Redhead.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Right, good night. So MP just spoke about the prosthetic legs and the fact that we will be looking to bring the service to Grenada. On Friday, there's a company that will be coming to Grenada to make a presentation at the Trade Center Annex. Right, so the Ministry of MIT will be inviting everyone to come and listen to hear what they have to say. I think they are interested in coming to set up a unit in Grenada, and in doing so, it will eliminate the cost of people having to go to Trinidad to get those services. So we just want to invite folks to come down to the Trade Center Annex this Friday at 10 a.m. to come and hear the plans for what we have for the people who need prosthetic legs. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
That's good news indeed.
Yes.
We have another caller. Okay, so remember 423-3104. That's the number to call if you'd like to ask the minister your question directly. 423-3104. Caller, good evening and welcome to the program. Caller, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, caller. Go right ahead.
Hello.
You are live on the program. Go right ahead.
Yes. What is the position with the radar?
What is the position with the radar? Okay. Thanks, caller. Minister, what's the position with the radar?
Thank you, caller, for the question, and I would pass it on to the relevant people who would be able to respond to you.
Okay. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening. Hi. Speak to Miss Minister Redhead. Yeah.
Go right ahead. We're hearing you.
We asked for a road behind the Spice Garden in Laura. We talked to the Prime Minister about it. Road and lighting. And we haven't heard nothing back from you guys yet. What's going on? Mr. Redhead, no, you the Jamaicans who donated to the Dorothy Hopkins.
Right. So, yes, caller, as you know, we are dealing with a lot of infrastructure work. I can safely say to you that it is done to do, but we have not gotten to you as yet. I want to put this out there because this is verified information. The rate of spending in Grenada at this present moment for capital projects have far exceeded anything Grenada's budget has ever seen. And so we are implementing at an extremely fast rate. It means the government is doing a lot of work and therefore will require some time to be able to roll this out. Remember, when the work has to get done, there are a number of things. You have to prepare the scope of works, you have to get contractors, you have to be able to, whether it's bid or not bid, and you have to know all of these things, and you have to do a proper project. And so, as it relates to that, we are working on it. The issues with the lights, lights should be available in January 2026. And once the teams get around to engaging with you, they would be able to install the lights, and you would have some solar lights to be able to protect you in the dark.
Caller, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome. Go right ahead with your question.
Good afternoon, Minister Redhead. You look really nice, eh, Mr. Minister Redhead? You look well rested and you're looking great. Anyhow,
yes.
I have one question for you. I don't know if you can answer the question. Do you have any idea when Minister Andy Williams will be on the program? And two, can you please tell him I say thank you, because he was on a ride-along program one time, and I said to him, I made mention to him that the residents who live behind Cemetery Hill need road to go in the back there or step or something, because the past government, who was there for over 23 and a half years, promised them and it was never executed. And he made mention to me, he said, I promise you I will do something. And 3 weeks ago, I got news that work really has started, that the villagers in the back there, that little community are happy that the road have started, the work has started. So tell him thanks on my behalf, and he's a man to his word. And you and the entire government keep working. The people are happy with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Well, the minister, Minister Williams, is listening, so I believe he got the message directly. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the program. Caller, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
We are well, thank you.
All right. Good night to everyone, and good night to the minister.
Good night.
First thing, but I would like to tell you, thank you very much for that road. The road from Roger to Montparnasse there. We really appreciate it. And my question is, since July, a project was supposed to start at the St. Paul's Community Center. You were supposed to upgrade the playground and the basketball court, etc. When will that be starting?
Right. Thank you very much, caller. So it would resume 2026. It's just an issue of ensuring that we prioritize. We had to do the road on the curb by the church in St. Paul's, and for me, that was a priority at the given time. We are going to work with the community and the community at the center as well to be able to roll out a very nice, comprehensive community program for the children. So the upgrade is coming there, and we will also be placing a play park at Tempe, St. George.
Where is Rogers?
Rogers Barbecue. The best barbecue in the Northeast. St. Paul's.
I thought it was a street.
No, no.
Or a road.
Well,
from Rogers
the people would like to name it into Rogers Barbecue.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I can attest to that. The best barbecue in the entire Tri-Island. And it's not just the barbecue, it is the sauce. The sauce is where the magic is.
Yes.
Do we have another caller online? Caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Go right ahead.
I'm just calling to find out from the minister how soon will the WASH program in the St. George Northeast will be starting, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The WASH program have already started. We have completed 5 bathrooms. We are scheduled to complete somewhere around 11. We are also looking to do upgrades to those who may have started already, to some taking the total number up to 15. I want to posit this out here to say that WASH was not supposed to start in St. George Northeast this year, but because of the hard work and dedication of my team and myself being able to rally everybody together, I think we were able to start, and I want to commend Nation Builders for their excellent work and commitment in ensuring that we continue to build the bathrooms and toilets, for people, indoor bathrooms and toilets for citizens and residents in St. George Northeast.
Thank you. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the program. Go right ahead.
Hello, good evening, Brother Ron. Great job. However, we have something that some politicians talk about, the 16th constituency, which is the diaspora. As a matter of fact, this diaspora discussion started since probably around the year 2008. As a matter of fact, the gentleman got the idea from somewhere in the diaspora and run with it as though it's his. But that's beyond the point. Why is it taking Grenada almost 15 and 20 years to get something going? And when I say something going, if people take the time to read simply literature out of places like, let's say, India, Israel, we would see what they have done with their diaspora and how the diaspora has helped to develop those countries and help with businesses. Why is it? We have a foreign minister. We have a diaspora ambassador. We have people responsible working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, getting salaries. And still the diaspora is not on the level where it can make significant contribution to the development of Grenada, with skills, for example, with investments, for example. A simple thing. The government issues treasury bills. That information is not even available on your consulate website. Just as a matter of information, somebody has to go to the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange. Why are we not utilizing our diaspora? Is it just a question of when people want a few dollars that they come to the diaspora? Or we don't recognize the importance of the diaspora throughout the world? Even the US use the diaspora. There are people go overseas and work as consultants, and the money comes back to the US. It happens with other countries, the UK. The people go, they work, they reside in some countries, and the money comes back. We don't realize the benefit of that. When will this government, after 3 years in office, take the steps and push people to ensure that the diaspora can contribute in an era where, for example, the giving is getting slower and lower from very large countries? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, caller. Minister.
Very, very, very good observation and question. What I would say is that the diaspora is not only one part. I know a large portion resides at the United States of America, but we want to see it beyond that. We have UK, Canada as well. In terms of the contribution, I want to say that the diaspora continues to contribute tremendously, and I can speak of my own constituency in terms of programs that we have been able to donate at least for every year since we have taken office in St. George Northeast. We were able to obtain medical supplies, medical, different medical stuff to be able to support the medical stations in our constituency and also some of the homes. We have a large concentration of homes in St. George Northeast as well, which we often have to give and contribute and play our part, and so the diaspora contributes to that. But they are not only doing that. Members of the diaspora contribute to my technical team in dealing with our flood mitigation project that is ongoing presently. What I would say is that if you're looking for a specific policy of it, I think it's something that needs to continue to be had by way of a discussion, and you must continue to raise it with each and every one. You said the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you said that we have an ambassador for diaspora affairs, and we also have the consulate offices. It is important and imperative that we continue to pool these resources together and departments together so that they can continue to discuss and find solutions to be able to utilize the wealth. We have more people living abroad than within Grenada, and probably it's time for them to also find a way to come back home indirectly so that they could, register, contribute, that sort of thing.
Thank you so much. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the program. Go right ahead with your question.
Good evening to you and Minister Redhead. Yes, we the public would like to know, can you get the message back to the cabinet? Can they set aside funds at the next budget reading for the disabled and elderly transportation? It's a challenge when you cannot get to the medical and the hospital and for food. So I'd like for them to take it back to the cabinet that they can set aside a funds or fundraising or whatever you want to call it for monies for the transportation for the seniors and elderly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller, and I will do my utmost best to do so.
Okay. We have another caller online. Okay, so while we await the calls, just quickly running out of time. Minister, of course, every constituency has its challenges. And what are the main ones you are tackling right now, and how are you addressing them?
Right. Well, I would have to honestly confess that the element of the, I would say, housing throughout St. George Northeast is a major concern and still remains a major concern, not having gotten into office at least 3 years now for St. George Northeast. But how we've been able to tackle it is to utilize a very strategic and professional approach in that we have itemized all of the avenues that we could be able to extract housing assistance for our constituents. In addition to that, just last week I was able to meet with someone out of China who provide modular homes and at very concessionary rates. The hope is that it will stay pegged at that price. But the point is, he provides this, and it can be an alternative to be able to provide very cheap prefab and easy to construct homes that in the instances of emergency cases, in the instances of fires, etc., we would be able to provide housing. It takes a great deal of energy for us and resources to be able to find alternative homes, especially for large families, whenever the homes are burnt or we have challenges, because we have intervened since coming into office in about 5 to 7 cases where young women had to be relocated quietly because of fear of abuse, among other issues. And so this is something that we are actively dealing with. It is a very serious challenge. We do not have access to land that we could just lease, etc. So we've been working with private individuals. There's a gentleman at the Annadale who owns property at the Annadale area. We are working with him so that he could be able to roll out a lease program in partnership with us. We can work to building the homes on it, but you will have to liaise with the people and the individuals privately and form up agreement. So we always try to create avenues to be able to assist, but housing is a major concern, and the issue too is the quality and the durability of the homes.
Wonderful. Caller, good evening and welcome to the program. Go right ahead with your question.
Good evening, Mr. Redhead. I'm just inquiring about when the road in Stones Gap in Bolio will get some attention.
Right. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, yeah. So Stones, we are hopeful that we can give it the attention in 2026. The hope was that we would have been able to start it by now. That did not fall through, and I do apologize for that, but we are hopeful that we can commence it in earnest in 2026.
We have another caller. Caller, good evening and welcome.
Hello, I'd just like to say thank you to MP Redhead. I've reached out to him on the behalf of someone for Widita, gas bottle, etc. And the guy has been able, from the block, he has been able to move forward into starting his own business. First paycheck was over 1,000 something. and he currently purchased the next one for himself. And I would like to thank you for the housing assistance for the young lady. She was kind of nervous to come to the office because she had a phobia for ministers. She said before, the ministers are not approachable. So she came in, signed up, and she got the assistance that she needed through the brigade. So I'd just like to say thank you for the assistance that you gave to those persons and them. And I would just like to throw this out there that you currently are studying, but you are one of the most easiest MPs to find, because sometimes we just pop in anytime during the week and we happen to find you besides the Thursdays. So I would just like to say thank you on behalf of the people and continue doing the work that you're doing.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a good one, sir.
You're welcome. Thank
How
you
does
very
it feel
much.
to get those feel-good testimonials?
Well, it's humbling because I am not more of the shy guy, so I don't really like all this picture and so on. But I like to just help. My grandmother and my father taught me how to do that and care for people.
I know you're not able to, assist everyone, So how do you handle criticism or feedback from constituents who may feel left out or unheard?
Well, there are times when I have to tune out because it could get very erratic. But what I would say to them is that I understand, and as you mentioned, it is not a possibility to assist every single person at the same time. But rest assured, as long as the resources are available, how I operate is that once we get it, and we would negotiate for it, we would make it available to the people, every single cent. We try our very best, and the only drawback I have or a reservation in politics is that it takes too long sometimes to get stuff moving, and sometimes the emergency, the public servants are not the ones having to assist with gas, electricity bill, students having educational challenges, etc. And so being at the front line, trying to express that, it's sometimes very difficult for them to understand. So I would say, as well, they are not robots, and we learn to work within the environment to which we operate and understand that not everyone would have the same conviction that I may have to assist, but rest assured the assistance will come.
Okay. Finally, what is your personal message to the people of your constituency listening right now, especially those who may be struggling or losing faith in the system?
Right. Don't give up. I have been able to see or be at the helm for the last 3 years. There are some very good opportunities that exist for constituents. We need to do more. Can we do more? Yes, and we will do more. And part in the task is your own ability to understand your role in the thing. As Prime Minister always say, you have to have skin in the game too. And so I want to see more constituents contributing to the development. For example, Mount Parnassus at the northern side of Mount Parnassus is an area that has tremendous capacity, individuals living there. And I need to see them out some more, giving recommendations, contributing from an academic standpoint in terms of the development of the community, and giving sound advice. Because I listen to both criticism and advice, and I enjoy, that's the part in the constituency work that I enjoy. I just entertain the old talk, but old talk could only reach so far. I think I like when people come with solid suggestions, and I always give them the credit for giving those suggestions. So I look forward to more of that.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, listeners and viewers, that is all the time we have with you this week. It was another wonderful edition of DMs with PM, speaking directly to the MP, Honorable Ron Redhead, of course, getting to know him and you asking your questions and him facilitating the responses. To our radio station partners, Power FM, Fusion FM, GBN, Vibes FM, Carrico, WeFM, Star FM, thank you so very much. To our listeners and our viewers on YouTube and Facebook, thank you so much, as always, for being a wonderful audience. And again, as always, thank you to our technical team for taking us through another DMs with PM. Until next week, join us again. Have yourselves a great Tuesday and rest of week.
you.